Hey guys, it's Alicia. Now today I'm going to be trying out a new crock pot recipe, and that is for crock pot lasagna. Now I love using my crock pot this time of year, so this was one I definitely wanted to try out. And I did get this recipe right off of the Weight Watcher website, so that's where this one's coming from. And like I said, it's totally new to me, but it sounded good, and I'm going to make just one small little alteration to this, but I will let you know what that is. So let me jump in here and show you what you're gonna need to make this. First off, you're gonna need a pound of a lean ground beef. Now I typically use ground turkey, but I had some ground beef on hand, so I'm gonna use that. Then you're gonna need 2 cans of tomatoes. I'm using diced. The recipe calls for crushed, but that should be fine. Then you're gonna need a can of tomato sauce. You're gonna need some lasagna noodles, 6 of those. Then you're gonna need some part skim mozzarella, some Parmesan cheese, a little bit of garlic, and here's where I'm altering from their recipe. I'm gonna add in some chopped frozen spinach, and this is 10 ounces. And that's just because I like spinach in my lasagna. In fact, if I had mushrooms, I would probably add those in here too, but I don't have any. But I like to add extra veggies to my thing, so I'm gonna add that. And then here I've got a medium onion chopped. For seasoning, you're gonna need some crushed red pepper, salt, pepper, oregano, and basil. And that is what you're gonna need to make this. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your ground beef, and like I said, you can use ground turkey, you can use ground chicken, whatever type of ground meat you want to use. And then you're gonna add to that your onion and your garlic. And you're gonna just get this cooking in here. And you want this meat fully cooked. So I will let this cook for a few minutes and then I will be back. My meat is nice and browned, and I had that on a medium-high heat. I don't think I said that earlier. And it took about five minutes to cook. So now that that's browned, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my tomatoes. My tomato sauce. Some ground pepper. The recipe calls for a teaspoon of salt, but I'm only gonna put in a half, because we don't use a whole lot of salt. Half teaspoon of basil, teaspoon oregano, and then just a little bit of the crushed red pepper. It says a 1/4 teaspoon, and that's about what I'm gonna put in there. I don't want too much because I don't want it to be hot for my son, because then he won't eat it. Okay, so now I'm gonna stir all this together. And I'm gonna just let this simmer for about 5 minutes or so. And while that's simmering, I'm gonna put together my cheese mixture. Okay, so for this cheese mixture, this is where I'm gonna add in my spinach that the recipe doesn't call for. Because like I said, I just like spinach in my lasagna. So I'm gonna add that. You definitely don't have to because it is not part of the recipe. But like I said, I'm going to. So next up is ricotta, which I completely forgot to show in the ingredients. I guess that's what happens when you're homeschooling and trying to cook at the same time. But yeah, I completely forgot this. You're gonna need a cup of ricotta, but I will have all the ingredients listed below as well as the instructions for this. So you're gonna take this and you're gonna add that in here. Like I said, this is a cup, part skim ricotta. And then you're gonna add in a cup of that mozzarella cheese. And you're gonna reserve the rest for later. So now I'm gonna just mix all this together real well. Okay, just like that. And now it is time to put this in the crock pot. So I'm gonna first start off with my meat mixture here, and I'm gonna put roughly 1/3 of this on the bottom of the crock pot. And now you're supposed to take your noodles and break them and lay them on top of your meat mixture here. And because of the size of my crock pot, I don't think there's really a very good way to do this, but it says break them in half, and there's no way that's gonna work for this size, but I'm just gonna lay them in here the best that I can to cover that meat. And I definitely did not do the best job of that, but anyway, maybe the next layer. Okay, so now on top of that, I'm gonna take half of my cheese mixture here, and I'm gonna just kind of lay that on top of the noodles. Like that. Okay, and now you're just gonna repeat that process. You're gonna do meat, the remaining noodles, the remaining cheese mixture, and then you're gonna end up with the sauce. All right, I've got that all in there. Now I'm gonna just cover it, and I'm gonna set it to low and let this cook for 4 to 6 hours. So at that point, I will be back. I let this cook for just about, well, pretty much the full 6 hours, which was probably a little longer than I needed to by the looks of it. But to be honest, I kind of got distracted and forgot about it until my husband said something. So at this point, I'm gonna take this cheese here, which is the remaining mozzarella that I had, and then to that I added half a cup of parmesan. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna just sprinkle this on the top, and then I'm gonna put the lid back on and let this cook for probably another 10 minutes or until that cheese is melted. Okay, my husband doesn't want to wait anymore, so we're gonna call that melted enough, and I will get out a serving and show you what that looks like. All right, I've got what I believe is a serving size, or as close as I could get. A serving is 1/6 of that, which is kind of hard to figure out when you're dealing with a kind of oval shaped crock pot, but this is pretty close, and that is going to be 10 points on all 3 colors. So my husband's gonna try this since we've never made this before. See what he thinks.
Let me get another bite.
I was gonna say, first off, did I overcook it? Because I'm
I don't think so.
okay. It is kind of hard to overcook stuff in the crock pot, but it can be done. Thoughts?
Tastes good to me.
Does it?
I mean, it's like a really good lasagna.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Now you've had other Weight Watcher lasagnas that I've made, like the rolls, and then there was at least, I don't know, there's been other ones. I don't know if you remember.
I don't. I mean, I remember the rolls.
Yeah, because we've made those quite a few times, actually.
This is probably a little heartier.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, it's really good.
You think it's worth 10 points?
Yeah.
10 points, yes. I do believe that's 10 points. If that's not right, I'll correct it, but I think it is. All right. No other thoughts?
No.
Good?
Yeah, it's real good.
Okay. Would you want me to make it again?
Yes.
All right. And I think my son will like that too, because he was requesting lasagna. So, all right, that is slow cooker lasagna. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. My husband's trying to take the plate. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.